Hi guys, this is Shayna from yumiyarns.com, and I'm starting a fresh new journal for the year, so I thought it would be fun to do a little video for you. As you can see, I decided to do a little pre-drawing with a pencil because one of the things I kind of want to challenge myself to do a bit more this year is take some time to do some actual drawing in my journal, and I figured it would be kind of fun since the Year of the Tiger is starting, and I don't really follow the Lunar New Year stuff or anything myself, but I always think it's kind of fun to find out about that stuff. And me and my husband are both Year of the Tiger. We were born in '86, so it's we're Fire Tiger, I guess. And this is not a fire tiger, this is a sleepy tiger. But it was a lot of fun, and it actually took me a really long time to draw this guy up, like just doing the sketching, because I never was one to really enjoy drawing animals much when I was younger and did a lot more drawing. So this took a lot of looking at pictures and trying to draw realistic things, and then realizing I don't like drawing realistic things, and then just deciding to start doodling, and now here we are. But yeah, this is just kind of a cute little tiger that I came up with that, obviously it looks a bit more like a cat than a tiger, but that's fine. I know what it is. And, I always kind of liked the snow tigers better, or the white tigers. I'm not completely positive, I guess, but just because I thought that they were kind of fun. And so I decided to just leave this as kind of a black and white drawing, except for a couple key points, which you'll see. And I know that the anatomy is not completely exactly correct with how my tiger is taking a nap here, but that's fine. It's a doodle, so I just drew it the way that I thought would be kind of fun and cute. But yeah, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out. This is the front cover of my new notebook. It's a Archer and Olive. It's 160 GSM paper, and I think it's like 190 pages. I actually got it over a year ago and found it when I was cleaning in my craft room and forgotten that I'd gotten it a while ago. And so it was really nice to stumble across it when I was running out of pages in my last notebook. And yeah, I know pretty much everybody else starts a fresh journal in January, but I really liked my last notebook, which was a notebook therapy one, and still had enough to do all of January, so I just kept going with it. And my birthday's in February, so I was like, well, we'll just start a new year of me being alive in the new journal. Because I have a feeling that it's possibly not even going to last me 6 months. Because I've been doing a lot of daily logs, and basically each day takes 2 pages with how I've been using it, and I really like the layout that I've been using the last couple of months, and yeah, it's just worked really, really well. So I decided to kind of go with that, and yeah, you'll see how if you've watched any of my previous Plan With Me's, you'll see that my journaling style has changed quite a bit since I've been journaling more consistently and planning more consistently. And also, when I was setting this one up, I did it a lot differently than I did with my last one, mainly because there were a lot of pages at the beginning of my last one that, as I was setting it up, I had fun making them, and they were really cute and everything, but then I didn't actually use them. And so, it was fun making them, so I got the joy out of that, but I didn't want to spend all day working on pages that I wasn't going to use today. Because that's one of the things, too, that I just would much rather have a functional journal. But yeah. Oh, here, the front looks really plain, but most of that, I was going to add some more flower doodles, which you'll see some of the flower doodles in my actual February spread. But then after I got done with the tiger, I didn't really want to add anything yet. I couldn't decide on how I wanted things to be placed and everything like that. So for right now, I just have a cute little tiger up there. And that was me being indecisive about if I was going to add the flowers or not. But I did want to add just a little bit of pink to the tiger, just because I can and because I liked it. And then, I'm going to have this journal for a while. So as time goes on, if I feel like adding more things in, I can. But yeah, and then I decided to make this little bit here more useful than it sometimes is. I know a lot of people who use these notebooks tend to just glue those the name page and the very first page there together or something like that, because they don't really open completely all the way like the rest of the pages do. But I figured that this would be a really great place to just quick tape in a quick reference calendar that I had gotten, and that way I've got little mini calendars for the whole year to reference when I'm setting up my journal each month. Those are from it was from the Coffee Monsters Co. Facebook group. Helen has a file that you can download if you're part of her Facebook group, and she has those cute little mini calendars for you to print out, and they're already sized the right way where you print them and just cut it out like I did, and you can just put it right in your journal. And then I'm setting up just some grid line, or some spacing, I guess, things here. I know a lot of other journalers will do a lot more lines than this, but when I did that before, I didn't use most of them. Really knowing the full and half width, like how many spaces I have for the width and the height, is about what I use the most. And then these tab dividers. I found cutting tabs into the side of my journal in my last one was really super helpful for how I've been using it. And so I wanted to add my little spacing for how I cut the tabs onto the edge of this page so that I can quick reference it as I go, because not all the tabs are the same exact. And also I skip a couple dots at the top and the bottom just to make everything lay out a bit better. I think this was where I turned on a light, so if you start seeing a ring light reflecting on the table, it was starting to get dark outside. So yeah, so now we are on to the future log. Last year I did, or I guess not last year, but last journal at least, I did a Dutch door situation where I had my future log written and some doodles, and then you could open it and move, like flip through it, and it was really cute. But I thought that I had given myself enough like extra time, because I think I had done like a full year and a half or something like that. But basically it came down to, I made the future log, and then as I was using my journal the last couple of months, I actually didn't have the spaces in my future log that I needed for some of the events that are coming up this year, because it only went like partway through 2022 or something like that. It was kind of a dumb setup on my part, because I could have easily just added another little Dutch door bit and would have had plenty of space. So that was kind of unfortunate, but learn from your mistakes and move on. Also, there were a lot of months where I just straight up didn't have the need for even having the amount of space that I had given myself in that last one. So that's why with this one, I kind of changed it a little bit, and instead of doing any Dutch door business at all, I just went through and set up this really pretty basic and kind of minimal future log, but I added some doodles and stuff here later on and some colors, and so, you know, kind of made it a little bit more fun and cute, and even though I think that it's going to be really functional with this setup, because I basically gave myself space to write things in for all of this year and all of next year, which might seem excessive, but some of the events and stuff that I'm hopefully going to be attending and different things like that, I find out the dates way ahead of time, and then if I don't have a place to write them down, I end up like just hoarding emails for an eternity and then forgetting which account they're in and then getting frustrated. And so we're gonna try this out and hopefully it'll work better. And then I couldn't decide what color layout I was gonna do with everything. I'm very excited. I went and got my first Tombow brush pens, because even though I have some brush pens, some of them that I use a lot are getting pretty dried out, and I didn't have the colors that I was wanting to use for this month, because I don't know, it's my birthday month and it's a new journal, and I don't know, just wanting to have something fun and new and special. And so I didn't go like crazy or anything. I just bought 4 Tombow brush pens, which, I mean, that's like, what, $12-15. So not super wild or anything. But I made sure to pick colors that I really liked and that I thought would go well with what I was wanting to do for this setup, and for just kind of the doodles and stuff that I had in mind. And if I'm being completely honest, I had originally planned on having a lot more tiger involvement in my yearly and my in my yearly setup, I guess, in my main journal setup. And then again, I was planning on more tiger things in the February setup, but I was good with the one tiger I did. that was enough stressful drawing. And it really wasn't that stressful. It just, like I said, it's been a while since I've really done a whole lot of just getting to sit and draw type things, and animals were never my strong point anyways. And so the tiger was, it definitely was, it made me more nervous than I had thought it would. So the rest of this is just kind of more color play and kind of my comfort zone for how I've been using my journal. So like a lot of my main titles and boxes and things like that, I use this one size for the Sakura Pigma Micron. I don't know if it's the Sakura, it might just be a Pigma Micron. I don't know. Whatever it is, because it's got a fatter tip. And I know a lot of people probably don't care for that, but I like it. I like the definition that it gives and kind of the cartoony aspect it gives. But then these little flowers that I'm doing here kind of were born from cross stitch that I get to start here, that's Year of the Tiger cross stitch, and they had these little flowers that were kind of similar to this, where they had like a little X in the middle, and the leaves that they had on those flowers were a bit different than the leaves I put on. To be honest, I just started doodling and had fun with it. Whoops, and I'm out of frame. Sorry, guys. We'll do better on the next one. But yeah, I was just really enjoying playing with the brush pens and seeing kind of what I could do with them to really kind of take advantage of the brush tip and everything, because even though I have other brush pens, like I said, some of them are getting kind of dried out, but then also I don't know, the colors aren't great. They're very like, in my other box of them, a lot of them are very much like your standard Crayola, like the box that you get for grade school type colors, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but I was kind of wanting some of these more like softer pinks, and I really like this shade of tan that I got. I think that the colors kind of go really well together, and it was the exact color scheme that I was hoping for this setup, so that made me super happy. And I mean, who doesn't love getting new pens and playing with them and having an excuse to play with them, right? But yeah, and now we're on to the actual monthly setup. So what I've been doing has been really super simple each month, and I've been relying a lot on stickers the last couple of months, just because I've been super, super busy with designs and family stuff and getting samples done and all sorts of things. And so I've been using some really great stickers from some smaller sticker companies, and also I think it was during the holidays, I just went to the store and found a cute pack of stickers, and it was like, there, done. So there's that. And they were fine, you know, it was fun. But I'm kind of excited to get to do a bit of doodling in my journal and get to play with some fun pens, and yeah. Oh, this flower that I'm doing here, that great big one, that one is really pulled from that Year of the Tiger cross stitch, like almost exactly. One of the flower designs on that cross stitch is like that. And then the smaller ones were just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna use the starting point of the big one to make these little ones. And I thought it was just kind of cute and fun. And so, yeah, I don't know, it was just kind of nice to do all of these little silly doodles and play with the colors and just make it really cute. And obviously they're not real flowers or even attempting to be real flowers. So as I was doodling, I was kind of like, oh, I should make some of those cute little roses. So there's also roses on this flower plant, apparently. I don't know if you can really tell that they're roses. Also, that leaf got giant. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, they're just kind of these little rose doodles that I did a lot when I was in high school and was bored in class. And so, yeah, it's just kind of fun to sit and sketch and play around. And yeah, I just had kind of a nice afternoon doing this. And hopefully it kind of gives you guys some ideas too, if you're just wanting to add something kind of cute and fun. It's real simple to do these, and just pick some colors you like and play around. As you can see, I'm just kind of grabbing whatever colors I feel like combining for the flowers and the stems, and just kind of putting them together. This make-alongs box has been kind of helpful because there's a few different like knit-alongs and crochet-alongs and stitch-alongs and things like that I'm always wanting to join. And then sometimes I'm able to participate, but then half the time I can't remember what the timelines are for things or what the hashtags are for things or stuff like that. And so I've just been including this little box each month, and I just write a quick note to myself of what the make-along is, kind of the start and stop time, and then like what dates it runs through, and if there's a hashtag for it so I can included in my posts if I'm able to participate. Otherwise, I can at least just look up and see what everybody else is doing. And then here, this is the first tab. So I always do the month tab at the top there, and it's slightly bigger, like 1 dot bigger than the other tabs that I use for the month. And this is the first time I've ever colored them in, and I am really, really happy with it. I love doing the coloring in with them. Before, I just left them white and wrote on top of it what the month was and what the week was and everything that way. And this was really cute, and I really, really loved it. And then this is kind of my month at a glance page. It's basically Ryder Carroll, the guy who came up with the bullet journal method. This is basically how he recommends doing your monthly calendar. And I've tried doing his method exactly the way that he does it. But I really need that visual of the mini calendar that I have on the opposite page, just because my brain doesn't work with just having a list of days and numbers. Everything starts to get confused and then I can't follow it. Same thing, I found that if I don't have any decoration and it's just black and white, I lose interest completely, and like I could spend hours filling in all the things and I will not look at it, and half the time like I'll just, even if I have to glance at it for something, it won't stick for some reason. So yeah, so doing something like this where it's just a quick list with some little highlights and visuals helps a lot. That box off to the side, those are my habit trackers for different hobbies. I've got reading, cross-stitch, spinning, sewing, crochet, knitting, and design work. And I know that sounds like a lot, but basically I put a dot on each day that I think I would like to work on that hobby, and then I cross it off if I do work on that hobby on that day. And it's been kind of helpful in giving me a visual of which hobbies I'm actually gravitating towards. And maybe, you know, if there's some that I don't necessarily need to continue with, or like if they're not making me happy or something like that. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of some good feedback for what I'm actually doing with my free time, I guess. And which hobbies are bringing me joy and making me happy, and which ones are maybe just like another thing on the to-do list. So yeah, I don't know, it's just been kind of nice tracking that to see if I'm actually doing all of those things. And this past month I really have been, which has been kind of fun. And I know it's kind of nice to look back and see how many hours I've worked on things, because I've been tracking my time on my different projects too, and it's just been fun. But yeah, so there's my monthly calendar. Oh, and here is one of the first mistakes. I almost wrote January when it is clearly February that I'm putting together. And then here's me marking my next tab. Get comfy with watching me cut up my journal, because there's a lot of pages that get cut in this video. I know the first time that I saw somebody cutting tabs in their journal, I was like kind of mortified and was like, what if you do it wrong? Like, what if you change your mind? Cutting is pretty permanent. But I don't know. It's just double check that you're cutting where you want to be cutting, I guess, before you actually cut it. If it makes you nervous, I guess. If it doesn't make you nervous, then have at it. Also, tombos will like get darker the more you color. So if you do like I just did there, and keep coloring over the same area, it will turn into a totally different shade than what you thought it was going to be. But it's okay. I still like it. It's still cute. And then this is how I set up my weeklies each week. So this is the first week of February. I've got that left-hand page is our homeschool schedule for the week. And then Dan's schedule is down at the bottom because he works retail. And so his schedule is not the same from week to week. And this way I can kind of keep track of what days he closes, what days he opens, who's getting Cairo, which days. And so, yeah, it's kind of helpful to have that to quick flip to. And then this is just kind of more my schedule and my weekly to-do list. So, oh, and I'm trying something new here where this year I'm going to be doing my calendars Monday through Sunday instead of Sunday through Saturday. Just because Sundays are like really good planning days for me. And I've had a couple times where I'm just kind of in my chill Sunday planning hangout mood. And I just go about my day, and sometimes I don't actually look at what's written in on my Sunday because it's kind of my day off of like everything. And then I miss things. Like I completely missed a Pokemon Community Day last month and was very sad. All because it was on a Sunday, which was very rude of them to put it on a Sunday, not a Saturday like they usually do. But it was still my fault because it was in my planner and everything. I just didn't look because I was going to do my planning stuff later on, and that happened. So, and there's just been a couple other things like that too, where it's like, we'll try doing it Monday through Sunday and see how it goes. So the way I've been doing our homeschool lessons and schedules and everything the last couple of months, I've noticed that basically I only use the far left, like 2/3 of the page, far left half of the page. And so before I've either had a lot of blank space or I've used a lot of stickers. And so this time I was like, I'm just going to have fun and do a bunch of flower doodles and it'll just be kind of cute. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed drawing this one. And by this point I was getting a lot more comfortable with how the brush pen worked for the leaves and stuff like that. And so I really enjoyed making all these leaves, and I really, really like this kind of burgundy color. Yeah, it was fun to use, and I don't know, it's just a pretty color combo, I think. And again, they're just super doodly flowers, and so, I don't know, they look kind of silly with the more pointy leaves, but I don't care. I like it. Hopefully you do too. But yeah, I don't know, it was just kind of fun doing all the doodles and adding some color for once. And then now we are going to get into the portion where there is a lot of cutting. Because, like I'd mentioned earlier, I do basically 2 pages per day. In the mornings, I use the left-hand page to kind of write out my schedule and do a few little journaling prompts and just kind of get ready for the day mentally. And then the right hand page is kind of my wind down page for the day, where I have, again, a couple just easy journaling prompts that I work through, and a lot of it is just stuff like for the wind down, it's what are 3 amazing things that happened today, and then I just kind of write about those. And then I also write down something that I could have done better, so kind of looking at the hindsight and maybe what could we do differently next time. Most of the time that answer is going to bed earlier, but clearly I have not learned my lesson. But yeah, partway through cutting the tabs for the week, I couldn't remember which week I was on or which day I was on. And usually I'll do this anyways, where I go in and write down the day of the week as I'm cutting the tabs and everything, because I'm not a great morning person, and so having this part of the dailies done for the journal each week has been super helpful and makes it a lot easier for me to actually do my daily journaling stuff in the mornings. And you'll see all the tabs that I'm cutting are in the same spot. They're not like moving down the page or anything like that, because these are all the dailies for the first week of February. And then next week I'll move the tab down a slot, and then it'll be the next week of February, and then that tab will be a different color. And so basically the top tab is the month tab, and then each week goes down, and all the dailies for that week are behind the same weekly tab, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. And then the very last tab at the bottom is like a monthly review, where it's very similar actually to my daily review, but it just kind of gives me permission to take the time to just stop and kind of reflect, like flip through my journal and what went really well, what did I like, what have I accomplished, what am I proud of, what things could I have done possibly a little better, different things like that. So it's very similar to what I do in my daily journaling, just a whole month reflection instead of just the daily. But yeah, and then the next little bit here is just a lot of coloring of tabs, and as you'll notice, I'm getting better at not just scribbling all over the tabs, so that they actually come out a nice tan color instead of kind of that weird almost green color. But yeah, I am really, really happy with how the tabs looked this time. This part was difficult for, I didn't even think about this, but if you do the tabs like this, get a comfortable position for coloring in the tabs. Because see, with this side, I had to move my journal like this, because when I had it the other angle, my pen kept getting caught and trying to jump underneath the page, so that was frustrating. But yeah, that is the setup. Here's a quick little flip through, and yeah, and I'm gonna fill everything out later, but I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I did my setup. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.